Welcome to 100 Yards of Football this morning. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and I'm doing a college basketball special this morning. And out of all the videos that I've done over the last year or so, this one is the most dearest to my heart. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it as I highlight the University of Memphis and, to me, the greatest hero outside Larry Finch that played basketball at that great school, Mr. Penny Hardaway. When I talk about Memphis basketball, it's something that a lot of people are not going to really be able to relate today if you're not from Memphis, Tennessee. Everyone that's close to me that knows me here in the metro Atlanta area, as I live in Douglasville, Georgia, know that I'm from the 901. And I know a lot of people in LA talk about how great it is to live out there on the West Coast. I know a lot of people, a lot of my good friends are from New York, Brooklyn, Harlem. A lot of my good friends are from Philadelphia, Chicago, Detroit. I have so many friends that I've met in my 23 years living here in the metro Atlanta area. But all of them will tell you one thing. When I've been living in this great area here in metro Atlanta, they can tell you the pride I have for the 901. My hometown, Memphis, Tennessee. And I wouldn't trade no place on the face of the earth than that city there. Granted, the city has problems. I understand that. But it was no better city to grow up in. And the one thing about my city is that it's always been about basketball. And today, that school that you see the graphic on that court that got that big tiger, I love that program more than I love anything else when it comes to college basketball, in basketball at any level. Tell you a true story. About 2 weeks ago, I turned 61 years old on July 17th. I went up to visit my sister, my lovely sister, Rhonda Gail Turner in Nashville. Shout outs to you today. You know I love you. And that Saturday and Sunday, we hung out in Nashville. So I had Monday off, and I drove up to Louisville, Kentucky. And I know y'all looking at me saying, why did Vincent go up to Louisville, Kentucky? Well, I've never been inside Freedom Hall. I'm going to take you to the story. We know about Freedom Hall. We know about the University of Louisville, one of the top 10 programs in the country. And I was able to walk on the floor of Freedom Hall. And when I went inside that great venue, I got chill bumps. I got really scared because that's an intimidating place, because they're in host Final Fours, Louisville under Denny Crum, Wes Unseld, Daryl Duncanstein, Griffin, man, like Castor Gordon, Milt Wagner, Purvis Ellison. But Louisville and Memphis has had a tremendous basketball rivalry over the years. But Louisville changed the whole focus and changed everything about basketball in the city of Memphis to me. In February 1972, I was a seventh grade at Longview Junior High. And I was watching the University of Memphis on WKNO, which is a public station in Memphis, Tennessee, who used to broadcast the Memphis Tiger games back in the day. And that Tiger team, they had Larry Finch, Ronnie Robinson, Fred Horton, Don Holcomb, upset at Louisville at the time that was ranked number 4 in the country. They went on to the Final Four that year. They had Jim Price, Henry Bacon, and it was the first year of Denny Crum. That game right there changed the whole mindset of what Memphis basketball was. And the city of Memphis came alive. And that changed my whole life of being proud from being from that great city. Well, at the end of that year, Memphis ended up winning the Missouri Valley. They didn't go to the NCAA. They had to play Louisville at the time. They didn't have the 64 field. Memphis had beat Louisville twice that year, but they had to play a playoff game because they tied that year 12-2 in the conference. And Louisville won the playing game to get into the NCAA. But that 1972-1973 season, the Tigers came in ranked 14th in the country. And I'm not going to get long-winded today talking about what happened, but you know what happened. That great team that was led by, again, Larry Finch, Ronnie Robinson, Wes Westfall, Billy Bruford. They had a JUCO out of Texas by the name of Larry Keenan out of Birmingham, Alabama. Bill Cook was a freshman on that team, Clarence Jones. And that team went to the NCAA championship game and lost to UCLA and Bill Walton 87-66. And Bill Walton went 21-22 from the floor. But what happened was so special. That was my first year attending Sherwood Junior High. I was bused from my area. And me and some of my friends, we was the first group of students that was bused. And at that time, there was a lot of racial tension in the city of Memphis. From the busing at the time, there was a lot of politicians did not want, keep it real, a lot of African-American students interacting with their students. And it was turmoil. And then in 1968, we all know about Dr. Martin Luther King being assassinated. And under the leadership of Henry Loeb, then Wyatt Chandler. At the time, a young Harold Ford Sr. was making his move up in the ranks in the political side of Memphis. So let's be honest, the city was divided, black and white. But what that basketball team did, and they run through the NCAA that year, brought that city together. And I never forget this image. When Memphis beat Kansas State in the Midwest Regional Finals, 92-72, that evening, that basketball team came in to the Memphis International Airport. It was about 10:30, and they came in from Houston where the tournament was held. And it was 7,000 fans. 7,000 fans jam-packed the Memphis International Airport. Black and white people together cheering these guys on. And that changed my whole aspect and love for that basketball program. So I want to give kudos and thanks to that 72-73 team. Then the 85 team that made the Final Four, Keith Lee, William Bedford, Vincent Askew, Dwight Boyd. Oh my God, Andre Turner, Baskerville Holmes, Willie Beckham. Thank you. Then to that 96 team, who I think, maybe 95, I'm sorry. I thought that might have been the best team ever that stepped on the floor of the University of Memphis. They got beaten by Arkansas in the Sweet 16. Leon Mitchell, who can run like a wind all day. Chris Gardner, Cedric Henderson, David Vaughn, the high-flying Harlem Globetrotter, Jumping Jack Michael Wilson, Mingo Johnson, Lorenzen Wright. Kudos to you, man. You made the city proud. Then in 2018, Derrick Rose, Joey Dorsey, Robert Dozier out of Lithonia, Georgia, not far from me. Chris Douglas Roberts, Sean Taggart, Andre Allen, Booker T. Washington Finest in Memphis. Thank you. But now, what's going on in Memphis now? You better believe it. If the college basketball world is not on my hometown of 901, it will be. And I want to thank one gentleman who's on a great team that made it in the final eight, the Elite Eight, Mr. Penny Hardaway. Thank you. Played at Treadwell High School. He's put the University of Memphis on the map. This past weekend, he signed the #1 recruit, Jalen Duran. And with that team he got coming back, it's going to be special. And maybe upcoming in this week, he might sign the #1 recruit in the 2022 class in Amani Bates. If that happens, the explosion has happened. We can literally say, all eyes on this city on the west banks of the Mississippi River. The Memphis Tigers are going to be must-see TV. And I'm proud to talk about my city and my basketball team today. When you look at all the great programs, Duke, Jason Williams, Johnny Dawkins, Jay Billis, UCLA with Lou Alcindor, I'm not calling by his other name today, Lucius Allen, Marcus Johnson, Michigan State, Irvin Magic Johnson, Syracuse with Carmelo Anthony. Them days are over. Long as Penny Hardaway is the head coach of the University of Memphis, it's finna be a situation. And think about this. Year 4 last, he lost his best recruit, James Wiseman, that elected not to come back and turn pro. And think about all the criticism came about a year and a half ago. All you naysayers. But you know what? Look at Penny now. And I love him because the perseverance and him staying focused and saying, hey, my hometown city and my hometown school, I'm still going to continuously build. And then think about all the players that left the program this year. Boogie Ellis, God bless. DJ Jeffries, God bless. Damian Bond, God bless. But you know what? Amani Bates might be coming. Jalen Duran is coming. Jonathan Lawson is coming. Chandler Lawson is coming. Man, it's something that's unbelievable, man. And think about this. The reason that people don't know why I'm so hyped, I think about the high school basketball and all the great players that played in the city of Memphis. The Melrose teams of the 70s that had Alvin Wright, the great late John Gunn, James Bradley, Booker T. Washington, Anthony Big Jack Gordon, McKinley Singleton, Westwood with Baskerville Holmes and Michael Jett, Mitchell Rowe with Maceo Battle and Andre Turner. Oh my God, Carver with Willie White. So much. Northside, Philip Doom Haynes, Edgar Barnes, Anthony Love, Tony Harris. Antonio Harris with Booker T. Washington, Torrin Richards, Lorenzen Wright, Bingo Smith, Orange Mound, Melrose, Tulsa University. The high school scene, it brings back great memories. Then in my year in 1978, the Melrose team that won the state, John Marion, Reuben Jackson, James Campbell, Chris Rogers, and a sophomore point guard and Michael Brooks. And the greatest high school basketball team in Memphis that didn't win it in my junior year in 1977, Southside High School. One of the greatest teams that didn't win the state. And I'm going to give kudos because I'm including them in today. Because I grew up with these guys, and one guy who led that team was in my homeroom for 3 years, Reginald Cofield. If it had been basketball where it been today, he would have been a legitimate 4-star, 5-star player. Then look who he had on the team with him. I called them snipers. Ray Irvin, Philip Bridgeport, Kevin Brown, and they had the big man Tree Moore in the middle. What happened that year, Tree Moore got hurt in the district. Then played in the advanced game, and Southside got upset in the tournament that year. But that's the greatest high school basketball team I've seen that didn't win the state. My point in case, I know New York talk about all their great players. I know Ohio talk about all their great players. I know LA talk about all their great players out there in their basketball scene. But I want everybody to understand today that this program in Memphis is one of the top 5 in the country. And the city of Memphis for basketball, I put them up against anybody right now. Look at all the great players that's coming out of Team Thad. It's something that I hope this year can end with the Tigers cutting down the nets in 2022. Penny Hardaway, I want to say thank you for making me walk around with pride on my chest and being proud from the 901. And thank you for coming back home. But the guys who set the tone, that I hope one day when I end this video, and all the people who tend to look at my page from Memphis, do this for me. And especially to the Orange Mound community. It was a guy that loved the city so much. And he passed in 2011. And if there was one guy that didn't love the school, didn't love the city, And this young man had a chance to go to the University of Oklahoma. And he took a lot of flack going out there to the University of Memphis back in 1968, especially after Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated in my hometown. People, if you're a true Memphian and you love Memphis basketball and where it is today, please, when you see Larry Finch family and his beautiful wife, Miss Vicky Finch, tell them thank you. Anybody that's associated with that family, tell them thank you. Tell them you love them. Because Larry Finch is the reason this program is where it's at today. I thank you to Dana Kirk. I thank you to John Calipari. Even thank you to Penny Hardaway for making where we at right now. But please, the man that put the team on the map and restored our city and brought racial harmony is Larry Finch. And he did more for anybody at a very, very serious time when that city was divided. Thank you, Coach Finch. We love you here at 100 Yards of Football, and I love you to death. And I go back and I always watch all your films, and I go back once a week and watch that great game you played against UCLA and Bill Walton. You've done something special for me. Even at 61 years old, I still go back to that magical season. And to all the high school players, if I missed your name today that came through the city of Memphis, I'm sorry. But let me throw some more names out there. Sylvester Rhodes, Iowa State. Michael Wilson, Marquette. Robert O'Kelly, White Station. Tony Harris, Tennessee. Corey Bradford, the University of Illinois. Vincent Rainey, Murray State. Frank Allen, Murray State. Erlen Bowers, Arkansas. Ron Hury, Arkansas. Corey Beck, Arkansas. Dwight Stewart, Arkansas. Johnny Newman, Overton. Bill Cook, White Station. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed some names. I'm sorry. Keith Lee, West Memphis High School. Don't let me mention him. By the way, the University of Memphis. Kudos to everybody that's made this program proud and on the level of national provenance. So my final words, and I'm finna throw shots. I'm sorry. To you, Coach Brian Spencer, I love you, man, but it's not about Syracuse no more, baby. To you, Mr. Deshaun Tate, I know you love Michigan State. It's not about Spotty no more. And to you, man, you know I love you up there in Boston, Mass. And I got great love for you and the Cape Verdeans. And last PDs, it's no more about college basketball in Boston, baby. There's something going on in the 901 in Memphis, Tennessee. I can't wait for the college basketball season. But as I end it, please give kudos. All you native Memphians, anybody that's from Memphis, Tennessee, please give kudos to Larry Finch and his family. Because without him, we wouldn't be talking about this great basketball program. My final words about the Memphis Tigers, formerly Memphis State University. It's just like this band out of England, and they had a song out. It went by the words like this: shout, 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 let it all out. We are the people that's coming to take over college basketball. Shout, shout, let it all out. Tears for Fears, baby. Thank you to the greatest producer.